Hey loves, and welcome back to my channel. I am Ijoma. So in today's video we are going to learn how to make this structured detail using a boning. We have used this boning a lot, so we are going to learn how to cut and structure this detail. You can see what I have here. It looks so beautiful. So here are the materials you need: your boning and your fabric. If you want an interface, fine. So here is the fabric. Let's assume that the length you want to use is 20. You can go ahead and measure 20 inches or 20 something inches. It depends on the length you want. Then if your width, if you want the wideness to be 10, you go ahead and add extra 10 inches or more on the width before cutting. Let's say you want the wideness to be 10. You measure the 10, then you add another 10 inches before cutting, because you're going to pick this fabric. So after that, you measure your bone. So this is a tiny bone right here. I will measure the bone, and after measuring this bone in, I got 0.3 inch. So you will need the measurements of this bone before doing your picking. So you go ahead and fold your fabric. If you fold, you will measure the 0.3, that is the width of your bone. We are going to make channels for this our boning or our bone. So you measure the 0.3 inch and mark. If you fold, you will measure 0.3 inch and mark. You mark it down. Then you go ahead and run a stitch on this 0.3 inch line. It should be the same width with your bone. The wideness should be okay for your bone. So you can see that I left like 1 inch seam allowance before making this picking. You can leave half an inch, but 1 inch is okay. Then I'll go ahead and pick another 0.3 inch. You will give a space, let's say 1 inch space, before picking another 0.3 or 0.5. It depends on the wideness of your bone. So this is the second one. I ran a stitch. I'll go ahead and pick the third one, another 0.3. You can see I gave 1 inch space before picking another one. Then you go ahead and mark your 0.3 before running a stitch. You go ahead and run a stitch on the 0.3. So you can see that I am done picking this fabric, and this is what I have here. So I'll go ahead and iron this so that it will look neat. I'll go ahead and iron them flat. Like, do not iron on top of it. You will have to like bend all of them so that they will face one side. You can see how I'm ironing my own. You bend all of them so that they will face one side, and then you will iron. This will make it look so neat. Do not iron on top of these channels that you made. You need to push them towards one side before ironing. So after ironing, you will add your bone. You can use a Reggiline bone or a plastic bone. It depends on what you want. So you can see what I have right here. First of all, I will go ahead and cut out my lining. I told you guys that I want to turn this with a lining, but if you want, you can fold the edges. It's still okay, but I want to turn this with a lining. So you can see after picking, I cut my lining. You cut your lining after picking. So I'll go ahead and use that 1 inch that I left, or half an inch, to turn the sides. Then I'll go ahead and fold it out. After folding it out, you can iron, or you can start inserting your bone at the stage. So after turning it out, this is what I have. You can iron if you want to. So right now I will start inserting my bone inside those spaces that I made for them. You can see my channels. I'll go ahead and insert my bone. So I used 6 yards of bone, 6 yards of boning for this particular detail that I made, but this detail is not too long. If you want to achieve a proper detail, you should buy at least 10 yards so that you will not run out of bone. I don't know if you understand. If you want to add an interface to your lining or to your fabric, you can as well add an interface. So at the end of the day, this is what we have. This is a very short tutorial. It looks so fine and it is strong. So this is what you have at the end of the video. So guys, if you want to follow me on Instagram for short tutorials, you can see my handle up here at Sew with Ijoma. And please do not forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up so that more people can get to see it. So thank you guys for your support and thank you for watching my video. See you all in my next video. Bye.